Hello guys, welcome to this video. My name is Mima and in today's video we're gonna be comparing these color pencils with these ones. So I finally got my hands onto these color pencils. Now these are very cheap and they're like a kid's version of like the skin tones and stuff. So I was very interested to see like how are they gonna blend and combine, especially with the skin tone. So we're gonna be drawing half of this portrait we're gonna be drawing with these ones, and half of it we're gonna be drawing with Prismacolor Premier. Now these are my favorite colored pencils, like one of my favorite colored pencils, especially the skin tone. So it's gonna be like a bit of a hard comparison. The thing that concerned me the most is that they don't exactly have those like peachy tones and like, you know, that like an orangey tones that you need for a portrait. So that concerned me a bit comparing to these ones, because they have like so nice skin tones. But I'm not gonna give up that easily. I truly hope that I will manage to do something very nice here. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, first I'm going to do a color chart for both brands, and I'm going to do it with Crayola first. Now let's take them out and see what colors do we have for this portrait. You see how most of the colors are either brown or pink, but let's see them on the color chart. Now I'm always curious how each brand is naming the pencil, and here the names were just very cute, like very light almond, very light golden, very medium golden, extra deep almond. Like they were also a bit confusing. I'm not sure like how long it would take me to actually remember each and every name for each pencil, but anyways, I like the colors that we got here. There are those golden ones and almond pencils that I could use as some of the midtones for the skin. So overall I think I like what they chose for the skin tone set for now. I also like these rose colors, deep rose, very deep rose. These could get such an amazing results as well in a combination with these almond ones and a bit lighter tones. Well, this is it when it comes to these colored pencils. Let's take a closer look at them. The colors are quite nice. I really like them. I'm very curious to see how they're going to blend and burnish with one another. But let's transfer to our next color chart with Prismacolor Premier. Now I already knew each and every tone of these colored pencils. They have a variety of shades here, so as you can see, they're also carefully chosen for each and every type of skin tone as well. With these colors you can get some very nice shades, and what can I say about them except that these colors are absolutely gorgeous. I love the intensity of the colors. They're definitely creamier than Crayola ones, and there are like more tones here to choose from when it comes to these a bit more orangey and peachy tones. Alright, so here is our color charts. First we're gonna use the Crayola ones, and then we're going to do the other half with Prismacolor. So I have to be honest, I struggled a bit here in the beginning. I didn't practice with Crayola pencils at all before the drawing, so it took me some more time to get used to them. They're very different than Prismacolor ones. They don't burnish and blend with one another as good as Prismacolor, but then again, Prismacolors are the creamiest color pencils out there, which means that they're blending and burnishing in the best possible way, at least from my experience. I combined here a lot of those midtones here, so I could get some nice results for the skin, and I kind of really liked how the eye turned out here with these pencils. I had a set of 24 regular Crayola pencils, so I used them a bit for the eyes and a bit for the hair, which you're gonna see a bit later. But honestly, I had a feeling like even though these were Crayola pencils, the same brand, those sets were kind of different. I just had a completely different feeling while drawing with these ones. I made a video about these regular ones. I was also drawing a portrait with just those 24 pencils. The link is in my description box if you're interested to see how that portrait turned out. And it kind of seemed to me that even though they were just regular colors, I got a bit nicer results with them when it comes to the skin tones, which is very weird. But anyways, I'm not saying these pencils are not good. You will see in the end that we managed to get some satisfying results. It's all about how you use colored pencils, that's all. how you layer them and how much you're pressing each and every pencil. That is something that needs to be taught regardless of the pencils you're using. You need to practice a bit with any pencil set that you have, just so you could get that feeling of layering pencils, blending them and mixing them in between. This is something that each of us have to go through, no matter what colors you're using. Now, I went very lightly with each and every pencil. I also experimented a bit to see what results I'm going to get by layering some different colors and combining them with different shades. And even though I didn't have the colors that I'm used to and everything, on the other side, I cannot say that I wasn't happy with the results. I actually liked it in the end, but I honestly thought that this is not going to be successful. I have to admit that. These colors have their limit when it comes to combining with one another. You have to be careful in choosing the colors, and you kind of have to have a plan in advance which colors you're going to use, when and where, because once you layer certain colors, you won't be able to add any more layers onto these ones. So make sure to practice this a bit before you start drawing with these pencils. But I have to say, if you're starting out with colored pencils and you are in a process of learning how to color, shade and blend, this is quite of a good option, because if you learn how to do all of that with these pencils, you won't be having any issues with using more professional ones. These are very affordable and they can serve you nicely when it comes to practicing. Now, I have to say I was quite surprised with how the hair turned out in the end. I just loved the end result. I used a bit of the colors from a different set, the Crayola ones again, the regular ones. I needed that a bit more opaque brown, but overall I think I like the look of the hair so much. It kind of gave the portrait very nice look to it. All of a sudden this portrait got a completely different feeling and vibe. I might even like this side better when it comes to the hair than the one with Prismacolor. I don't use Prismacolor for drawing the hair. I usually use either Caran d'Ache Pablo or Faber-Castell Polychromos. It's because they are oil-based, which means that you're able to get some nicer details than with Prismacolor Premier, at least from my experience. But you can see how this hair looks like. I managed to get some very nice shades and details, so I have to say that I was quite surprised with the end result. But after all, you already know how much I love drawing the hair, so this is no surprise as well. I enjoy working on the hair the most as always, so if you're planning on practicing to draw the hair or some fur with colored pencils and you don't want to spend that much money on colored pencils, this could be some great option to use for that. So overall, when you're gonna see the end result with Crayola Skin Tone set, I can say that I struggled a bit in the beginning, but that was mostly because I haven't used it before. Not because there is something very wrong with them, but it took me some time to actually get used to using them. I really liked the end result, and I was honestly quite surprised with this set because the results are quite good. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about this site? Also make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you haven't. And yeah, now we can transfer onto the Prismacolor side. So I started with the eye here in the same way I did with Crayola side, and I kind of ended up having darker eye than Crayola side. I have no idea how that happened because that wasn't my intention at all, but never mind. I'm still quite satisfied with how this turned out. I loved how the colors combined here as well. Now I'm maybe a bit too subjective to be comparing these two sides because I really love Prismacolor ones. I don't even know how many times I mentioned that in this or every other video where I'm using these pencils, but maybe this is also a very great thing on the side, on the other side, because if I compare the colors with the ones that I love the most and still in the end I like the end result, that means that those colored pencils are quite good then. So there, I'm a very big Prismacolor lover, but even so, Crayola gave me some very nice results. You will see how these colors are just going to blend with one another. As I already said, these are very creamy and they give you endless possibilities to combine them, blend them and burnish them in between, especially while creating a portrait. I try using the colors that will match the left side. Honestly, I'm not sure if I would be using these colors exactly if I didn't have the left side there. I might have used some a bit different and warmer tones, But even so, I think that the skin tone turned out quite good here in the end. I was already used to using these pencils, so that is why Prismas have a bit more advantage, because I'm quite familiar with them. And then again, comparing with Crayola's, Crayola rocked here as well. I was very surprised what I created with them. With Prismas, I managed to get a bit better transitions. On Crayola side, you could still see that graininess, but on the Prisma side, the colors blended just perfectly. They're also a bit more opaque colors comparing to Crayola's side. The pigment of Prismas is much stronger than Crayola ones, but in the end, this is why they are more affordable than Prismacolor Premier. I think they also give a bit more realistic look to the skin tone, even though the left side looks quite good, and I managed to get some very nice colors. Prismas are definitely the ones that gave like a skin tone a bit better and more realistic look. They're just such winners when it comes to the variety of skin tones. Even like when I was comparing Prismacolor with Caran d'Ache Luminance, which are the best and the most expensive colored pencils out there, I think that I kind of ended up liking Prismas a bit more in the end. It's just something about these pencils that I really love. You can already see now quite of a difference between these two sides now. Prismas definitely have stronger pigment than Crayolas. And you can see that especially when it comes to the eyes, and you will also be able to see that once I finish with the hair. Now when it comes to the hair, as I already mentioned before, I'm not quite of a fan using Prismas for it, but I cannot complain. The hair turned out here quite good as well. I maybe liked the Crayola side a bit more, just because I was able to get a better details there than with Prismacolor, but when it comes to the colors, Prismacolor definitely have that vibrancy comparing to Crayola ones. But who knows, maybe you don't like to have those very colorful and vibrant colors, so after watching this, you are gonna go with Crayolas and not with Prismas. Some people don't like to have their drawings very colorful, so they prefer going with a different choice. And if you're one of those people who prefer having their drawings a bit more matted, as I would like to call that, then you definitely can go with Crayola option. I prefer my drawings colorful. I love when I'm able to see the strength of the colors. There is just something about it, so I always like to use a bit more opaque and stronger colors. I also kind of like the form of the hair a bit better on Crayola's side than on the Prismacolor one. Prismacolor drew me towards building a different form somehow, so I think that even though Prismacolor are my favorite pencils, Crayola side wins a bit here as well. I was able to get better results on the left side when it comes to the hair. But again, I would like to hear your opinion when it comes to this, so make sure to write it in the comment section down below. Which side do you prefer more? I didn't want to use any blending medium here. I forgot to mention that. I was very curious in seeing what each of the brands can do on their own without any additional help, because using any blending medium can really change the look of the colors. So I really wanted to see how they're gonna burnish in between and what results I will be able to get by just using the colors. And we're almost finished. As you can see, both sides turned out quite nicely. I'm honestly satisfied with both brands and both sides. There are things that I mentioned I prefer more on the left, and also there are quite few things that I prefer on the right side, but overall both brands worked very well. I'm quite satisfied with the end result. And here it is. This is our drawing. Let me know in the comment section down below which side do you prefer more. Also, let me know what brand of colored pencils is your favorite. I really enjoyed working with both brands and both sides. I'm curious to hear your opinion, so make sure to leave it in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I see you in another video. Bye bye guys!